Hello traders, welcome to the newest edition of the Crypto Lab from tradinganalysis.com. So as usual, today we are going to look the latest events, news in the crypto space, and we are going to also include a little bit of macro outlook since we had a demand from our viewers that we look a little bit into a dollar, gold, and some other stuff. So let's begin without any hesitation, and let's start to look the current outlook on the dollar index. So we're gonna start with a little bit of macro overview, and we are tracking this dollar move lower from the March 2020. We were relatively bearish back then on the dollar, and since the Fed cut its interest rate at March 2020 and offers swap lines to kind of give additional liquidity into the system when the COVID crisis started, we have seen a relatively stable and nice move to the downside on dollar index, but nevertheless we think that this move is either finished or it has a little bit to go more on the downside. We count this as a complete 5-wave cycle, as you can see on the chart. So there is a wave 1 down, wave 2 on the upside, very nice, very discernible wave 3 to the downside, reaching 1618. That's our usual fib ratio that we look for the target for the larger degree wave 3, and now we are counting this last sequence as a 5-wave move. I don't think personally it is still finished. There has been many news regarding this dollar move on the upside, but I will allow one more push to the downside towards this 87, 79, 88 levels. So if we go in a little bit of a smaller time frame, still using our Elliott wave model, I'm still gonna consider this to be a corrective pullback. So this last sequence we count in a wave 1 down, a flat in a wave 2, nice subdivisions in the wave 5 of 3, so you can see a lesser degree 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think this is just a 4th wave correction. Usually what we do, we measure time elapsed in a wave 2 and to see approximately how wave 4 will actually unfold in the time dimension. And we are now at 100%, which means that we are now almost equal for the time elapsed in the wave 2 and this time elapsed in a wave 4, which is currently unfolding. So I'm even gonna do a little bit more close-up on this one, and as you can see, I count this as an A triangle B move up in C. Usually when you have this corrective structure, for now we have two upside targets. Usual one is 0.618 for the wave C of this projected A and B, and if you look this consolidation pattern, you can really not find anything impulsive there. It looks like a triangle, and if you count the subdivisions, you can clearly see that all subdivisions are in 3 waves. So usually this type of sideways market price action we kind of consider as a consolidation, and this consolidation is usually in a B or X waves, and currently we are monitoring this dollar index target around 91.03. So we are still within this nice channel, which is kind of keeping very intact this nice 3rd wave on the downside and 4th wave corrective pullback. Sometimes these 4th waves can go a little bit above, violating this channel and then reverse. But I really see no reason for now, because wave count invalidation is at around 9300, which means that When we see the move upside to these levels and above, we will clearly know that the larger correction started. So in any case, looking for these additional signs, I will allow for one more move of the dollar to the downside in this final 5-wave sequence to this 88 level target. We are going to see how this will unfold. Anyhow, 5-wave impulse to the downside and 3-wave corrective pullback will prove this analysis to be correct, and we are going to look for these signs, and then for there we're going to monitor a push to the downside to these indicated levels. If we get that, we are expecting a huge move up in dollar very soon, and we also track correlated assets classes like indices, like metals, and of course Bitcoin. And everywhere we see a possibility for one more push on the upside, especially on potentially on Nasdaq. So this will kind of nicely correspond to this last move in the dollar lower. Okay, so some targets for a corrective pullbacks on all of this will be around, let's say 96, 97, going back on a higher time frame. Usually when you have an ABC pullback, you will see a retracement ratios from this move to the downside hit it around 50 or 0.618%, which corresponds to 95.72, 97.57. Anything above reaching 78.6 and above will be kind of a suspicious that this was all of the corrective pullback. Then we will have to turn and possibly look for a dollar higher. So we are now within all parameters that we are looking using this methodology, so there is no reason for us currently to become so bullish on dollar, at least for now. So we're going to look for this last pullback and then become increasingly bullish on the move in the dollar on the upside. If we turn to gold, we had many requests for a gold analysis. So let me just show you our gold chart. We tracked gold pretty successfully, calling this move up as an X wave. Many market participants was kind of anticipating this as a final corrective move and continuation on the upside. I'm always careful regarding that, because if you see this X wave reaching the previous B or an X wave here in 3 waves, then the correction is not over, and as we see, that was exactly the case. So we were observing these levels. X wave unfolded in 3 waves. It is usually bear or a bull trap, whatever the direction of the trend is. So we went up in A, triangle in B, up in C, we completed X wave, and then we moved down in this 5-wave sequence, which is telling us that potentially now we are in the B wave development, and then continuation to the downside towards this 1700 levels, or even a little bit below, from where we expect a further continuation on the upside in gold. So current price action is very choppy and sideways. So as you can see, so we are going to consider this to be a corrective move, and while we reach our downside targets, we will look for a continuation of the gold price on the upside. So let's turn to cryptos and do our stuff as we usually do. Let me start again with the overall outlook on the Bitcoin. As you know, we are tracking this wave count on the weekly time frame. Usually when we do analysis, we start from a higher time frames, and on this time frame, obviously the trend is still on the upside. We are tracking this wave count, which is telling us for now that we are in the orange wave 3, and that the current subdivisions are quite nice for the time being, and we are tracking this wave 1 2 and 3, possibly very soon wave 4 and up in a wave 5 to finish this green wave 3. So after 2017 highs, we observed this corrective move down back to 3000 as the corrective 3-wave move. From there we have seen a 5-wave move on the upside, again 3-wave move to the downside, kind of nicely matching this lower trend line, and from there we count this impulsively for the further subdivision on the upside for this orange wave 3. We really don't see a need to change currently this wave count on this higher time frame because it is unfolding relatively nicely for now. We also have one additional solution which I will show you now, which is actually looking this, let me just find it here. Oh, it's here, okay. So we are looking this potential triangle here, although as I said this was a very short E wave. This wave count was presented me by Todd, our fearless leader in trading analysis. So Todd is looking a little bit of different wave count, but it's still a bullish one. So we have 5-wave move still developing, but this was a corrective pullback in a triangle, and we know that after a triangle we are going to see a post-triangle thrust developing in 5 waves, and we can be maybe close to finish this orange wave 1 and have a little bit of deeper pullback than we expect on this wave count, okay, on the higher time frame. So I'm gonna magnify now. So this is a daily chart of our overall wave count that I have presented, which is this one. So I'm just gonna go a little bit lower time frame to show you what's going on. So here we see a subdivision from this wave 4, or close to 3000 lows in I think it was December 2018, and we count this as a 5-wave move, 3-wave pullback. At current advance we track in a 5-wave lesser degree for this green wave 3. So this development is kind of a nice following clearly the Elliott wave pattern. So apologize for these smaller wave counts, but I like to track this even on a smaller time frame. And if I go on 3 hour, I will just first tell you what we are aiming to. We are aiming for this blue wave 3, blue wave 4, and blue wave 5 for this orange wave 3. So in Elliott wave, every lesser degree wave needs to have a 5-wave subdivision, and that's exactly what you have seeing here. And on this larger degree time frame, 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5 has to also have a 5-wave fractal subdivisions. So we are looking for one more push on the upside, and then a little bit more of a corrective pullback back to this 26,000, and then a continuation on the upside, one more pullback, and then a final push to finish this green wave 3. And then we're gonna look for this corrective pullback in a wave 4. As you can see, I already put this potential time ratio, which will measure the time spent in this wave 2 and in this wave 4. Of course, our Fibonacci measurements for the target on the upside are as usual 1618. In this case it is 200, which is kind of also a usual target for the possible green wave 3. And if we reach, of course, this target, we are going to look for a longer period corrective pullback down in this wave 4. And when this completes, we're going to look for a further upside in this wave 5 to complete a larger degree wave 3. So as I said, always this is just a hypothesis. We are looking on the developments on a smaller time frame and constantly updating and modifying our wave counts. And I think that's really a good tool, because it is a flexible and you can adjust and kind of I would say you will have a better chance to determine your risk in these corrections for a possible trades. Anyhow, I'm gonna go even smaller on 3 hour and just looking what's going on now. We were looking here for a potential complete corrective pullback or a triangle, and as you can see, we are still trading sideways. For now, there is nothing impulsive in this wave structure. For a possible triangle, time ratio are fine because we had this wave 2 here on a smaller time frame, and we are still in a nice kind of a zone of these time ratios where this potential triangle can still develop and then continue further on the upside. We are long with our members. We have 2 positions. We are long Bitcoin and we are long Stellar. I will go into a Stellar a little bit later when I finish Bitcoin. So for now we are still observing this, and of course we are ready to react if this analysis proves to be inaccurate, but currently we don't have any reason to either close our position or move or change it, because we are just witnessing a sideways consolidation. Wherever you see this type of hesitation to the downside, you can assume that this is just a corrective pullback. And of course, from the Elliott wave standpoint, we only see 3 waves down for now, so we don't have any reason to suspect that this one is going to be a more prolonged downside, at least in this moment. So let me, I think this was relatively clear, guys, so can you just type in if you have some questions regarding the Bitcoin. I think the wave subdivisions are pretty clear, so that will, I think you will not have much of a problem to grasp our view or what is going on there. Okay, so let's switch to Ethereum. I will show you the corresponding wave count we track on Ethereum. Ethereum is still highly correlated with Bitcoin, so basically the same wave count from the 2018 lows. We have a move up in 1, down in 2, so 3 wave corrective pullback, and now we are considering this to be a further expansion fractal division on the upside, and we throw our hypothesis using these fib ratios for a possible wave structure on this 1, 2, wave 3, 4 and 5 for this green wave 3. So pretty much the same outlook. After this wave 2, we have to see a 5 wave move in this green wave 3, a pullback in a green wave 4, and then a continuation. So we might spend, if this is the correct wave count, some time in this 3-4, 3-4. So this can take even a 6 months or even a year period, while we are going to see a further continuation on the upside, and then we're going to still see a bigger correction to the downside, because this correction we consider as a pauses. Market has to breathe, and it's a healthy correction. So when you run, let's say a mile or 2, you need to have some let's say significant pause, and after that you can continue with that. So it's the same with markets when they go in a longer period of time in one direction, specifically in this designated trend on the upside. They need to rest a little bit and have a little bit breather, because they can because afterwards they can continue on the upside. So basically we are looking the same outlook, but a little bit of different wave structure. Potentially this is some type of a ending diagonal here up to this 1623. I put this label here, but I'm still not confident. This might turn out also to be some type of a triangle. I just draw this as a hypothesis, but clearly there is nothing impulsive on the downside here. Still sideways price action. So for now we don't have to kind of bring any panic for the further downside, at least for now, because obviously we are just moving sideways, which is basically a balance between buyers and sellers, and then we will have to wait the resolution between this battle of bull and bears. Possibly this battle will win the bulls with one more one more move on the upside, and then we are going to see a larger consolidation as in Bitcoin. Let me go now on Stellar. So we are long Stellar as well, and we are still looking for this move on the upside. And the current wave structure is kind of, as you can see, despite these strong moves on the upside, corrections are relatively big. So as you can see here, the resting moves, kind of lunching and drinking coffee before further continuation, was rather substantial in these both cases. And I'm gonna still look for the further continuation in this potential wave 5, because this is also very corrective, only 3 waves down. This is either some type of a triangle or some type of a ABC X ABC completed. It more looks like a triangle from the pattern outlook, because the first step, whenever we structure a trade, we have a pattern recognition rule. So you have to first understand the methodology, and then you need to clarify yourself and to see certain signs and define the pattern you try to trade. So for now, we're gonna look this as a potential ABC or a WXY to the downside, and then this will be a wave 1 and 2, and a further continuation for the wave 3, 4, and 5 on the upside. As you can see, Stellar has a kind of a very strong reactive move on the upside, very quick ones. We have seen that in the last 2 occasions, because if you look these moves on the upside, they're really huge. So let's measure this one. This one was almost 200%, amazing. And this one, let's measure this one. This one was 235%, amazing. So we have a kind of 2 moves and a kind of a pause between these 2 strong moves. I think we are going to see one more, and then we're going to complete this temporary smaller degree cycle, and we're going to see a bigger correction. But overall, on the daily time frame, I'm still going to look at further developments on the upside in Stellar after this long correction has completed in March of 2020. As you can see, this correction was very nicely held by this corrective channel, and this is a very complex one in the Elliott wave world. But after that, we moved up in impulsive fashion. We corrected a little bit without touching this line. Sometimes we can go even lower and kind of kiss it. But from there, we are seeing a further impulsive development on the upside, and I'm gonna still look for a possible continuation. So smaller time frame, we are trying to see if this is going to develop in the lesser degree impulsive wave 1, and then we will try to track a further continuation on the upside. Our entry was around this zone, so we are still well as our entry is concerned, and we have a time to react. We have our stop losses, but even we have a time to react if this turns out to be just a 3-wave move and we continue to the downside. So all is good. Now the analysis for now works relatively fine. We consider cryptos to be, as we saw, in a consolidation patterns, and we're going to look for a little bit more upside to come. Let me show you this which we tracked for the last few times, and this is the Ethereum Bitcoin cross. I'm also going to show you what we are going to look in the Bitcoin dominance. Just let me open that on a trading view and go a little bit into that. Okay, so the chart is coming on Bitcoin dominance, and this kind of aligns with Ethereum Bitcoin wave count. We have identified on Bitcoin dominance a 5-wave move on the upside, relatively kind of a visible one. We had a nice impulsive moves with the 2 corrections, and then current move we are looking for a possible flat, which means that we have a 3-wave move to the downside, 3-wave move to the upside, and then we're going to look for an impulsive move down, which might confirm we are potentially in this type of a flattish 335 corrective pullback. And if you look the cross, it looks pretty much like that. We have an leading diagonal here in a wave 1, and then after a 3-wave pullback we are now looking for a 5-wave move and a correction in this wave 2. So I guess looking these 2 developments, that after a nice pullback to the downside, this Ethereum will gain edge temporarily over the Bitcoin. We will see how long and how much. But for now, I will be relatively bullish on Ethereum. Let me say semi-bullish. I don't want to kind of state this bullishness and be strong on Ethereum, but I'm kind of a half bullish. At least I think we're gonna have one more leg on the upside at least, and then if we get a little bit more on the upside, I will look for a further development of a potential wave 1 or a 5-wave structure, which might kind of implicate after a pullback a further continuation. So I'm going to look for a pullback soon. On a smaller time frame, I see potentially 5-wave move finished soon, and I'm going to look for a corrective pullback to the downside on this Ethereum Bitcoin cross. How are we going so far, guys? I have 2 mics turned in. I don't know how that can happen. Let me just see. I don't see 2 mics. Is there still any echo, guys? Or you hear me well? You hear me okay? Stock Pharaoh. Thank you for the answer. Just type in if the sound is okay, if it's not double. Okay, so it's okay. Oh, so you have an echo, Aaron. I apologize about that. I really cannot find here any other application open to produce this such echo, but okay, so let's continue. Let's go a little bit into news. One interesting thing which I have found, I usually go on this coin desk and kind of a stroll down to look the latest news in crypto space, and this decentralized finance space is developing quite nicely. We have seen that value locked in decentralized finance increases over 2,900% in a past year. So since we have developments on the decentralized finance in the money markets, in cryptos, there has been a lot of flow in search of yield, and if you can kind of yield some 5 6% on a Bitcoin, and a little bit of a similarity with some other cryptos. Money is flowing there to kind of a search for yield in this zero interest rate environment, and we have seen some moves on the Uniswap and some other supporters of a decentralized finance network. So let's look at Uniswap, and we have been observing this move on the upside, and currently the only thing I can see here is that we are in a larger degree wave 3. We passed these highs, and this move from this low, which was actually equality between the A, triangle B, and C, was developing in a 5-wave move. Then we see a 3-wave pullback, and now you don't see any of these corrections entering the previous waves, which means that we can kind of look on this very impulsively on the upside. So I will track this for a further upside. Some of the upside target for this wave 3, we always first look for equality, which is around 28.89, and after that, if we passed it, we're gonna look for a 1618, which will be around 100.10, 180.10. Sorry guys. So this will be at 28, and this will be at 100. Really a big move on the upside, because this is a log scale. I'm gonna look all of these higher time frames using the log scale if I want to see some of the targets for the wave 3. And as we are developing now, there is a chance at least we're gonna go up to 28.30, and after we will see. So for now, Uniswap looks very nice on the upside. Also, we can look this development in Polkadot, which we were looking before in a straight 5-wave lesser degree subdivisions, and for now these subdivisions are developing very nicely. We are seeing a wave 1 and 2, and then further a lesser degree subdivisions are quite nice. We have seen a very discernible and clear 5-wave move in this blue wave 3, reaching some of the targets around 1618. So I guess the target for the green wave 3 on the higher degree will be around 28.30 on this one, and then we're gonna see a little bit of a bigger pullback and a pause, which are going to try to pair with this wave 2 corrective pullback. So I'm gonna stay bullish on this one. I see this very corrective in some type of a blue wave 4, and I'm gonna look for a further continuation on the upside in this blue wave 5 on Polkadot, because the wave structure works very nicely. If we also see this temporary channel here, we are looking for a nice support zone, and current movement on a smaller time frame is only 3 waves, so we can kind of assume that this is just some type of a pause in a triangle, or potentially in a more complex corrective pullback, and that we are going to continue on the upside. Okay, so let's look compound, and this one is still developing. We were looking for to be bullish from these lows here, because we were looking for an expanding leading diagonal. We're gonna pay attention on this resistance zone, because if this starts to further continue, we will have to relabel this in a more bullish wave count. But for now, I'm gonna hold this expanding diagonal, because when you have this type of an event, the wave 5 on expanding variety should be the longest wave. So I'm still gonna look towards this 283 around this level. So we have been moving from 123 from our potential zone, and we are trading now at 244. So almost 70 80%, 70% move on the upside, and we are going to look for a further continuation, but not much. I would like to be very careful around this previous B wave because we might encounter some resistance here and see some type of a potential three-wave pullback as well. I see that you want to see a Litecoin. Yes, we can see Sol. Let me just complete some of the latest developments. So as we look this liquid supply change, we still don't see much of a selling from the owners of a Bitcoin. As you can see, they firmly hold their long positions here. We don't see any movements up in this green zone, which means that they started to unload their Bitcoins, but they firmly hold these levels, and this is telling me that majority are holders, they are not selling. And from the last week, basically the readings are pretty much the same, and therefore we see this consolidation pattern on Bitcoin. I also want to go a little bit into this stock flow model. As you know, this is a model which kind of tracks this finite supply of the Bitcoin, and for now this stock model is telling us that we might continue to this further developments toward 100,000 levels, and some of the targets are around 80-90,000. Maybe that will occur in a longer period of time, but this stock to flow model kind of corresponds to our first wave count. Let me just show you that, and there is a similarity between these targets that we have on this wave count and this stock to flow model, because our targets for the possible wave 3 are around 83-90,000. So it will be very interesting to see if this will develop in correspondence with that. Then usually we have a consolidation period and then we continue on the upside. So I'm very curious if this is going to develop like this. Looking for this cross line, we still trade some around beginning levels when the upside and uptrend is starting. So we poked a little bit and then we reversed. So I guess this uptrend will still develop on this lower graph. We can also look. I think this is a very nice website. You have to subscribe to see some other charts, but this one that we are looking, like this pool multiple, which we explained last time, is kind of a correcting little bit, but nothing much. This correction during the way on the upside are relatively nice. We didn't even poke in this red zone, and as you can see, this is a price of a Bitcoin, usually nicely corresponds with these lows. Very nice correspondence. We had a little bit of a divergence here, which was a clear sign the Bitcoin might continue on the upside. And now just a little bit of a pullback. So I think our wave count pairs with this additional data on different measurement cycles for the further upside as we see it, or a longer consolidation in this 3-4 that we explained, and then a further upside on the Bitcoin. Okay, so let's look some of the charts you like to see, guys. Let's look this Sol. It's Solana dollar. Okay. Looks nice for now. So let's put a wave count which is like this. So this is a wave 2. So now usually I don't do this. I put just an ABC because we have a certain fib ratios for a measured move, and we want to see price action above that to become increasingly bullish. So I will just put this parallel channel here as a kind of an orientation for the measured move. Equality usually comes around here, so this move up, this move down, and this move up will be equal some around there. And let me just take this as a potential 1 2 up in 3 4 and 5. So this will be a type of a wave 1, a little bit more upside, pullback in a wave 2, and then we might continue upside in this one. So nice looking chart for now, bullish. Definitely with the minor corrections even can be bullish to this one. We might even get a directional push and then reversal. So I want to see what is going to do here on the upper line of this corrective channel, but it's constructive. We have seen a 5-wave move, 3-wave pullback, and then relatively impulsive developments from there, which subdivides as a 1 2 up in 3 4 and 5. So I think this wave count will correspond. We are going to see a little bit of pullback in this wave 2 and then a continuation on the upside. So that will be my take on Sol. Let me just scroll to your requests. What is that, William? Hey, William. This Aaron guy is good. It's okay, keep going. Can check later on your settings. Practical, Aaron, I agree. I had a comment on the last show, which was really funny. One of the guys said, okay, we really don't need to see your face. Keep going on with charts. That was very polite. But it was funny in the same time. Okay, let's see a Q cache. I'm trying to find this Q cache. Can you tell me the ticker, William? Q cache. Oh, it's here. Okay, so let's see a Q cache. I I really, I mean, when I see this type of charts, which are relatively new, and with this type of reading, I really cannot say anything. I'm sorry, William, but I mean, this chart doesn't represent even a fraction of the price moves we need to see to have some orientation. I mean, for now, I don't know if this actually was relevant, these spikes on the downside, but I will look at it if we don't have these spikes, if they're a glitch or something like that. This looks like relatively bullish without these spikes, so you can check that if there were real price movements. Anyhow, even if they were real, I will count this as a 1 2 up in 3 4 and 5. So maybe you can look for a pullback and continuation on the upside. I really don't have any sufficient data to look this one, William. So when you choose these guys, try just to have some of the price movements on the upside. I know you are interested in specific cryptos, but when I don't have a lot, at least decent amount of data or price action of when I see these glitches, I cannot really orientate here because we don't see a clear impulsive move because I don't know what was this. So William, maybe you can check for next time. If these glitches are real, I'm gonna say this will be the low, and then we can count this impulsively on the upside, maybe a little bit corrective pullback, and a further continuation on the upside. Yeah, sure, we can see alpha. Yeah, alpha reached, we analyzed this last time, and alpha reached this measured move target. So I also left the line here to kind of a warning ourselves when we reach equality. So let's put some fib ratios to identify this equality here, which is here. Yeah, so exactly we are at equality. So what I want to see on alpha for a further continuation, I want to see, and it looks like it will do that, although RSI is very high, but we don't see any divergence. We can just go here in maybe consolidating and then continue. So this looks like 1, 2 up in 3, 4 and 5. So for me, I will keep the bullish outlook, especially if we see a further move on the upside. So what I will do, I will just go a little bit smaller time frame and then try to subdivide this sequence here, and definitely it is looking bullish. So from here there is a 1, 2 up in 3, 4 and 5. So it's going to correspond to this 1618 levels. So I will look for a potentially move up, small consolidation here, and then potential break, and let's say never look back, at least for some time, in this wave 3, which is on the higher time frame, some around there, potentially around 1618. So for me it's looking very nice now on a smaller and on the higher time frame. This RSI is a little bit worrisome, but I mean, no panic here. Nice wave structure in a subdivision, so potentially we're either going to consolidate and then break, and as long as we hold these lower levels for the wave count invalidation around 0.55, everything is fine with this one for a further move on the upside. Silver, oh, okay. EGLD, let's look EGLD. Whoa, this is a nice looking chart. Let me just see how I can address this three-way move. Usually when I see this, I start to move from a lower 1, 2 up in 3. Oh, that was, let me just go a little bit deeper into it. Maybe this is some type of a triangle in a wave 4, A, B, C, D, and E, or just A, B, C. This also looks impulsive, so I like to find this wave 4, which is more kind of a sufficient here, but I don't like to anchor this and have this wave 2 very small. It is possible. It is possible in cryptos especially. So let me give you two options. One of the options will be that this was some type of a wave 3, wave 4, and this is going to go a little bit further and then move lower to this support and then continue. Depends how long this wave 2 will proven to be on this corrective pullback. RSI is already diverging, which is a kind of a sign that potential trend might weaken. So maybe I will go for this version, a little bit more upside pullback and then a nice opportunity for long. In the case we start to continue on the upside, I will have to anchor this wave 4 and 5 here and then label this as a 1, down in 2, and we might continue towards 210, 170 further. I will be a little bit cautious with this one. Anyhow, and I can say for the time being this is a nice impulsive structure from the lows, and definitely a candidate after any correction, specifically if we see any sizable correction, for the further continuation on the upside. Okay, let's look silver. Silver is pretty much the same as gold, a little bit different structure. So we looked the silver in the same manner. We looked for this whoa, B wave. Whoa, what a move. Nice. For now we're gonna look this as a B wave. So ABC down, X, and then we are going to look for a 5-way move down. This we're going to look as a corrective pullback, and then we will go for a further continuation to the downside. But nice push. Whoa. Let's measure this one. A down in B, up in C. I guess we are at equality, and we are at equality exactly. So very important fib ratio. We can also throw here B versus A 786, which we are holding for now. So I mean, I have to follow our previous wave count and expect a move lower for now, but in case we start to peak higher, we'll have to change this wave count. But I'm still kind of have a sufficient trust because we were tracking this very successfully up to now. What is ZIL? Okay. Zilica, we already had a wave count on this one. It's developing nicely, up in 1, down in 2, and now we are developing in the wave 3. Nice consolidation in this wave 4 might turn out to be a triangle, further move in a wave 3, pullback in a wave 4, and then a further continuation on the upside for the possible wave 5. So for now it's looking nice. RSI is dropping while we are going sideways. That's always a good sign for a continuation. So all good for now. All good. Okay, guys. So 55 minutes. I think it's a long one. I think last time even somebody made a comment. It's too long. Okay, so I don't know, guys. Leave the comments. I'm really there for you. If you like me to go less time, I will. If you like a 30-minute show, we will adjust it. So please leave your comments if you like. If you like to adjust, if to kind of give us some type of an adjustments of this show. I always try to do as much as I can so you can see. Let's check up the Bitcoin. We didn't look that for the last couple of, so it's moving a little bit more upside, 32,000, so everything is fine. For now our positions are working quite nicely. Let me check the XRP. It's all fine for now. So all good, guys. I think you had the idea how do we look on the further developments on this market. Let me just also present you our cryptocurrency service. So we have crypto chart room. This chart room are for orientation purposes. They're on the higher time frames. Even if you see this chart room, we usually look these higher time frames. We were relatively very bullish from 370, waiting this trend line to be crossed on Ethereum. We were also very bullish already from 11,000 even before, but this is kind of an updated chart for the further continuation on the Bitcoin. We have a few cryptocurrencies here presented, but then we also have weekly webinars where we go more deeper into the crypto space. We have a crypto trade desk, and we have a Discord where we do a shorter term trading with our members. We post charts and discuss the things. We also have a current repository which doesn't function for the last day or two. I have a problem with the Dropbox, but if you have a multi-wave, you can connect with my wave counts immediately and have them on your screen in a second. So this is also a nice feature that we have, and we have a trading analysis app for notifications. So if you like to see, you have a trial membership, you can join us in and kind of check us out. And if you like, you can stay with us and join our member community. So thank you for the attention. if I didn't succeed to see your charts this time, I will see them definitely next time. Just type them into this trail of messages, and we are going to look for a further clarification on your pairs in the crypto space. So thank you on the attention. See you next week. We are, as you can see, we do these shows regularly. So if you don't visit us on Trading Analysis, be sure to be there. Click the like button, because this is kind of gonna put our content a little bit more on the network. As you know, YouTube is measuring these likes. We would like, if you like, you can just click it for us. And give us a little bit of a uprise in our content. And stay well, stay healthy, and see you next week. Bye bye, guys.